What's up people, and welcome to this video. And in this video guys, we're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about Alpha. Alpha is the latest hero that has come out in Mobile Legends. Ruby will come out soon, but you know, currently it's the newest hero. And as you probably know, if you played Mobile Legends in the last 2 weeks, you might have noticed Alpha is pretty goddamn strong. Alpha is really strong, and you can see from these stats as well, from the official Mobile Legends forum or site or whatever you want to call it. You can see he has a really high win rate, and me myself with him, I have like 92% win rate, as well as I won 23 games in a row. I have made a full video on how I won 23 games in a row with Alpha, and I will go ahead and link that video down below if you want to go and check it out. But either way, Alpha is really strong, and there's a ton of different builds for him out there. But I have looked through some of them, and in my opinion, a lot of them is just crap, okay? That's why I'm gonna go and show you what, in my opinion, is the best build for him, as well as why I think this is the best build for him. And before we jump into the build, I'm gonna go and talk a little bit about him. So a reason why he is so strong is because his 3 abilities work so perfectly together, okay? So his ultimate is extremely strong because it knocks you up, deals a ton of damage, and while you're doing that, you can use your 2 other abilities as well. So your burst damage is extremely high, okay? You can jump on someone, you ult on someone, then you use your second ability, then your first ability, or whatever order, it doesn't matter. You just do use them extremely fast, and while basically you're using them, you can keep it auto-attacking, which makes him extremely strong. So in my opinion, his abilities are what you really want to focus on, because his abilities are extremely strong, okay? So that's how I made this build, and I mean, I won 23 games in a row with this build, so that's why I think the build is, it works pretty great. You be the judge, okay? If you were able to win more than 23 games in a row with the other build, with the Alpha, yeah, sure, I take it. You might have found another build that's really great, but I mean, 23 games in a row, it's pretty goddamn great, so that's why I'm gonna go and show you the build right now. So here is the build, here you can see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain every single item and why I have it, so stay tuned guys. So the first item, hopefully you know what all of these items does. If you do not, then you can go ahead and check it up or anything, and I will explain a bit what they do as well. But the first item is basically, you will go ahead and gain some cooldown as well as a ton of damage, which is really great because all of Alpha's abilities stacks with physical damage, and it stacks quite a lot as well. And by getting a ton of damage as well as cooldown, you will be able to use your abilities more often, as well you will be able to deal more damage. So that's why I usually always pick this item first. Occasionally I will go ahead and pick the boots first, because if I'm going against like a Franco or someone who can stun or whatever, I want to pick the boots first, so I can try to avoid Franco's hook or something like that. But usually I always pick the sword first. And like I already said, the boots is the second item. And why I picked that is because obviously you want some movement speed early in the game, so you can go ahead and roam, you can run to other lanes, use gank. It's really easy to gank with him as well. You just ult in and then the enemy is basically dead, and you're gonna get even more cooldown with those boots. And then the second item, hopefully you know what this does as well. You go ahead and gain a ton of crit chance as well as crit damage. I think it's plus 50% crit damage, which is insane. And I think it's like 20% crit chance, something like that, maybe even more, I'm not sure. And this ability in general is just really strong. It's not only strong for Alpha, it's in general really strong. And I'm not completely sure if you want to build this item before the next one. I've been like arguing with myself which of them is best to build first. But this is the build that I usually like made originally, so I stick with it. But if you want to go ahead and put the next item before this item, I wouldn't blame you, okay? Because I've been thinking about doing it, but I'm not sure. So the next item is basically, it will give you plus like 130 physical damage, which is just insane. It will give you like 10% crit rate as well as a bit attack speed, but I'm not buying this this item for the attack speed. I'm buying it for the crit chance as well as the physical damage as well as the passive on this item. So the passive on this item is basically when an enemy is like stunned, knocked up or whatever, crowd control or something like that, this item will make you deal 15% more damage to the enemy, which is just insane on alpha. Just imagine you ulting them, and then after that all your damage will go ahead and deal 15% more damage. So that's just insane. So you want to go ahead and ult them, and then you just spam your second ability and first ability and try to out attack as much as possible, as long as they are airborne. And the thing is, how Alpha's ultimate work is, when you choose a target where to ult, the enemy which is in the target will go ahead and get stunned. So basically, even before you have airborne the enemy is stunned, so you will go and get 15% extra damage on only the ultimate, which is just insane. So that's why I've been thinking of maybe putting that item before the crit item, but I'm not really sure about that. So the item after that, I have this item, which is you will go ahead and get gain some physical damage, which is always great, as well as some armor penetration, which is always great. I don't really have a reason why I have that. I just have it because you will go ahead and get a ton of physical damage as well as some armor penetration. And usually you don't really get this far in the build. You usually already won before this, but if you get this far in the build, you can go ahead and build this. And the last item, I have that because I know not a lot of people use that item, but for alpha I think it's actually pretty good. So you will go ahead and get some, you'll basically get everything in this item. You'll get some physical damage, attack speed, mana, a little bit magic power, which is a bit of waste I think, but it doesn't matter either way. The passive is the thing that is a bit interesting with this item. So you will go on and get 17% extra physical damage as true damage after you have made an ability. So that is really cool. You can make an ability, like you make your first ability, then you go ahead and hit the item, hit the enemy, and you will go ahead and deal 70% more damage to the enemy because of this item. Then it has, and that's true damage, so it will go through armor as well as what is it called, magic defense. I can't remember the name right now, but something like that. And you will also, when you have used that passive, there's another passive which is under the screenshot. I can't really show you, but you will go ahead and gain 50% movement speed after doing that. So it's really easy to just go ahead and poke the enemy like that. You use your first ability, then you go ahead and slap the enemy, then you just run away. It will go ahead and deal a ton of damage. But usually this item is the last item you will go ahead and build, and you usually have won by now. You usually don't really buy this item. It's just really late game item, and so like it's not like you go ahead and poke the enemy at late game. You just jump in and kill them, and it's just great to have this item because you will go to deal 70% more extra true damage in the end, which is just great. Okay, so that's my build for alpha. If you have any recommendations, if you think I should change something, go ahead and comment that down below. And if you have that, go ahead and comment why you think so, because there's probably another build or something, another item that I would have changed out, or maybe even put the green sword before the critical sword, before something like that, that can change the build to make it even better. But in my opinion, this build is pretty much perfect. It is really strong. 23 games in a row I carried every single game. It tells a lot. Yeah. So I really hope you like this video, and if you want me to make another build for maybe another hero, whatever, go ahead and comment that down below, and I will maybe go ahead and do a build in the future for that hero. But yeah guys, that was all for this video. I hope you like it, and I hope I will see you next video guys, but as always, thank you for watching.